In today's episode, I'm here in Bel Air at the Wish House with my friend Enes, and we talked about a ton of cool things. He goes over how his career started as a professional windsurfer where he was a world champion. On top of that, he talks about his move as a flipper back in Texas, then coming to LA with no friends, no connections or anything, and building up his real estate business, which in turn became his YouTube channel. Now he has almost 1 million followers on the platform, and it is continuing to get crazier and crazier as he builds it out. And he's got big ambitions to tour even crazier homes. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. So you don't want to miss out on this podcast. Now let's jump into it. Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where our mission is to invest.
I only expect to make money in things that I understand.
Innovate.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past.
And inspire. I am much more likely to hit my goal just due to putting it out there.
You're now rocking with the best.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Pineda Show. Today, I have got YouTube sensation Enes on the show. What's up, man?
How you doing, bud?
Yeah, so dude, I gotta say, I love watching your videos. My wife and I, you're seriously my favorite YouTuber. And I'm not even saying that just because you're with me. I've had other people on. We love watching the home tours. And kind of selfishly because we're in the process of building our dream home. And so I actually look at your tours as inspiration of things I want to incorporate into mine. So
you're
shout out to you.
You're probably picking some details and seeing how people incorporate certain details in their homes, right?
Yeah, no, and the things that you point out, I wouldn't even notice. So I love your eye for just the quality and cool features. But for those of you who don't know Enes, he has over 800,000 subs on YouTube now. And he started out as a realtor just a couple of years ago and now does just YouTube full time. So I kind of want to just talk about your career and how it's got to this point where, in my opinion, you are the biggest real estate YouTuber in terms of, retail real estate.
I appreciate it. Well, the whole journey started off kind of interesting, but I was living in Texas, flipping homes, kind of doing what you were doing. I developed quite a bit of properties there, was pretty successful, but I was in a good position in life. I was like, well, I made my money. I want to live in LA. I want to do something exciting. So when I moved out here, I was like, well, I could just get into development right away, or I can just get my real estate license, just hang around a little bit, get to know people, and then from there, I'll build a business. So I came to LA about 2.5 years ago, got my license. I was working in an office off of Beverly Hills. And 3-4 months into being a real estate agent, I was like, brokers open, $50, $100 million homes. I'm like, there's so many cool details on each one of these homes. And I was like, how come nobody's talking about this? This is crazy. So I called a friend of mine who I knew from Texas. I was like, Mikey, why don't you come to LA? We'll just shoot some content, while I was working as a real estate agent. So he started off as a little fun project to brand myself as a realtor. 5-6 months in, we got to 1,000 subs. We were like, we could probably do a little bit better. Before you know it, here we are.
Yeah. And so in that journey, you only get 1,000 subs your first 6 months, which,
right.
For a lot of people listening to this, you're like, dang, either that's a lot or, man, that's not very much. How'd you keep going, right?
That's not much. As you know, knowing what I know now, we could have got to that probably in a couple of weeks. So, I was just motivated. And one of the key things that I looked at is I looked at a lot of the successful YouTubers and I studied what makes them great. And I realized, obviously, there are a lot of key elements that were important about them. But at the end of the day, they felt like people that were like me and you. I didn't find anything that was just so incredible about these people. Obviously, there are some creators that are just killing it. So I figured it has to do with the content, the way I structure my videos, the way I shoot or edit them, right? So I just focused on making the videos better, dialing in the information that we give in the videos and how that information translates into the video. And as we started focusing on these little details, picking and choosing our video ideas a little bit more carefully, everything just kind of worked out.
Yeah, so the point that you did that I did as well was before I jumped into the YouTube game, I started studying these guys really hard. I said, hey, who are the top guys? What are they doing? How can I take the things that I'm good at and apply it to kind of how they're optimizing their channels? They've already set the path. Why do I got to reinvent the wheel, right?
Absolutely.
So you came from this background of investing and development in Texas, and you became a realtor out here. and you just went down the path of like making realtor related content, right? Just kind of touring homes. And I mean, that's what I tell my realtors to do all the time. I'm like, just literally tour homes. Like that's it. Just tour nice homes and you will get leads. Was that the whole agenda?
That was the whole agenda. So it was a kind of like a little side project for me to be like, well, I know houses really well. I know development really well. And it doesn't take me that long because of my past experiences to figure out a market, what's a good deal, what's not. So I figured if I put videos out talking about homes, construction details, people will see the fact that I'm quite knowledgeable at what I do. And they'll be like, this is a guy that we should work with or hire him as our buyer's agent or seller's agent. I was like, it will be just good exposure for me. And that's why we were doing it on the side. Like a lot of our previous videos were, beginning videos were brokers opens. I would tell Mikey to come with me. And as we were touring the homes, I would give him sound bites. And yeah, that was so that I can get my name out. Keep in mind, I moved to LA not knowing a single person. Never lived here before. I was just like, I'm just going to become a real estate agent.
What made you come to LA?
Just like, you know how it is, $1 million listing, the whole social media world. LA just seemed exciting. And I felt like in Texas, I pretty much outgrew myself. I was the best flipper in town.
What town was this?
It was in Corpus Christi by the ocean.
Okay.
I broke every single neighborhood record anywhere that I flipped homes. Like literally, I would go to a neighborhood, top sale would be 200,000. I would come in 260, 270. Still to this day, appraisers call me. How the hell you sold a home 2.5 years ago for this price with this square footage? Like, how's that possible? I was like, it was the best house in the neighborhood.
You were just so focused on what the finish is and everything. Because I see that in all your videos. You're very detail oriented on finishes.
All the flips that I've done, I picked all the way to the toilet paper holders. I was obsessed with details and unifying the homes. And I didn't take the approach of like, I'm going to wear nice shoes, walk around the construction site. I had 2 full-time guys with me. I had a construction man. No one knows this. In LA, I have probably about $200,000 worth of construction gear. From my contracting background, I ran a full crew. If you would come to my project, you would have think I was one of the trades that was working there. Like, you would have not been like, he's the owner.
Yeah.
You would have been like, are you the framing guy? I worked. Like, from pouring concrete to framing walls, I know every aspect of construction. So when I walk these homes and talk about details, it's not because I can relate to it or understand. I've been there. I laid stone. I framed walls. I know book matching in marble and how much pain in the butt that could be. So I talk about them truly, you know, from a passion point of view. So I think people just see that.
Yeah, no, I've noticed it too. And I'm like, how does this guy know this stuff? Like, most realtors wouldn't know. Even me as a flipper, I don't know this stuff because unfortunately and fortunately, like, I never did the construction.
I would say fortunately, you were probably smarter than me to kind of handle the management side of things rather than I went too dark, too deep into the construction side of things.
Just stuck in it. So how many houses were you flipping out there?
I didn't have a ton of volume, and I was doing like 2 to 3 projects at a time.
Yeah.
I had 2 full-time guys with me. I was obviously sourcing, finishing, designing all the homes and running the crews. I've done in total about like 25, 30 projects back in Texas.
Okay.
But I was involved in like, my friends were building subdivisions, so I kind of partnered up with them a little bit. I still probably own about 40 plus plots of land back in Texas. I invested all my money back into the land. I'm kind of a big land guy, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in long-term hold, you know, buying the right places.
I see you like more as a developer than a flipper.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly why I kind of wanted to come to LA. I was like, this would be my next path. I will meet some luxury developers and eventually get involved. And I have it in me, and I can still pull it off. But, you know, as you grow, you do things. You know, certain experiences changes you a little bit, and you're like, oh, this could be exciting. And kind of how I was being a real estate agent and evolved into YouTube kind of worked that way. You know, I'm not one of those people who are like, in 5 years, this is what I'm going to be. No, I mean, if things change, and if I enjoy it, I'll do it.
Yeah, we actually just did a podcast with somebody else, and it's the same deal. You know, people are like, what's your 5-year goal? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, you know, we're both on this path now of content and YouTube that I don't know about you, but a year ago for me, I would have had no idea it'd be where it's at today, you know, and like all the opportunities it's brought and just everything. I mean,
Absolutely.
Look at where we're at today. You know, you and I are filming at this. What do you think this house is worth, if you had to guess?
I mean, 60, 70 million, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
And we're here in Bel Air.
Look at the view behind us. It's insane.
It's insane. And we're hanging out because of social media.
That's
like
also true.
You meet such cool people through social media. You were telling me like David Dobrik was DMing you just about houses and stuff. Like, who would have ever thought? It's crazy.
I mean, the doors that it opens, and also once you see the big picture, it allows you to tackle way bigger challenges, and certainly having exposure gives you a little bit of voice. And when you realize people actually care about your opinion, you start looking at things differently in a good way, you know, and it builds confidence in you. You're like, well, we can tackle bigger challenges, or we can put this together. Or when you have an idea, you realize that a lot of people are willing to join in it.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah. Well, and for you, you know, you come to LA, you don't know anyone, like you said, you got a real estate background, but you're just starting out as an agent. You'd never been an agent before. You're just flipping, investor, developer. What were you doing to like make money in a brand new city? That's a tough thing.
That is a really tough thing. So I'm going to give credit to a friend of ours that you're also friends with, Graham. So I came to LA. Again, my goal wasn't like, I have to make money from day one. I came here pretty well off. My goal was more like, what do you want to do? And what would be the easy and best route to get there? So I wanted to become a real estate agent because I figured that will get me to learn the market really quickly and allow me to meet people. I genuinely didn't know anyone. Like, really, I had like 2 friends here.
That's crazy.
So like, I was like, how do I socialize? Well, make the work as an excuse. I'm a hardworking guy my whole life. I was a professional athlete for 12 years. I've gotten into flipping homes.
Where were you an athlete in?
I'm actually a 3-time world champion professional windsurfer.
Windsurfer?
Yeah.
3-time world champion?
3-time world champion, yeah.
Nobody would ever, you've never even talked about it.
I never talk about it. I actually have an EB1 green card. I have extraordinary ability green card from U.S. government because of my 3-time world champion title.
Wow.
I always tell people, this is my 3rd job. I was an athlete, I was a developer, now I'm a YouTuber. This is my 3rd phase in life.
Dude, we've kind of had a similar path. I was not a world champion, but
you were an athlete?
I got drafted by the Oakland A's to play baseball.
Sick.
And I played baseball for 8 seasons.
Okay.
And then, you know, real estate was my second career. Yeah, and I'm still in real estate, obviously. But now, yeah, it's our social media and YouTuber. So, dude, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like Mike always literally is like, I have to brag for you. Like, I have to tell people like your past. I was like, what do I say to people? You know, just like, oh, by the way, in my last 12 years of my life, I was competing around the world, traveling 200,000 miles a year.
How did you become a windsurfer? Like, I got to talk about this before we jump into the next.
I'm originally from Turkey. The town that I grew up in is like the 3rd best place in the world to do windsurfing.
Huh.
So when
it's just super windy.
It's windy. It's crystal clear water. It's just like it's like Miami of Turkey. Let's just call it that way. So I got into it when I was 12 years old. 13, I started competing. 14, I got my first sponsor. 15, 16, people realized you're really good at this. And I think, so when I was, 16, I became 3rd in the world. 17, I became 2nd in the world. 18, 19, 21, I became world champion.
Wow.
So I have like technically 5 world titles. I became European champion 1 time. Traveled the world for 12 years. At peak, I had like 8 sponsors.
So what happened? Like, why'd you stop? And did you age out, or you got tired of it? Like, what?
I got a little bit tired of it. Also, I accomplished everything I wanted. Like, I've been to South Korea 9 times. I didn't have to go there 10 times to compete. I've been to France 4 or 5 times. I've been to Germany over 10 times. I've been to Spain, God, probably more than 15 times. I've traveled the world, but I realized my potential was not being explored. Like, yes, I can win more world titles, but it just didn't seem that exciting to me after a while. But it certainly shaped who I am today. I mean, the work ethic, you know, a lot of people, now I work really hard, and I'm like, this is a joke. You guys should have seen me when I was an athlete.
Yep.
Windsurfing is one of the most abusive sports in the world. Now I work easy, 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'm like, dude, I wear suits touring homes. You kidding me? This is work? Like, come on. I almost feel like I sometimes overwork my guys. And I'm like, dude, this is easy. Like, this is not even work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that hardworking personality comes from.
Dude, now it all makes sense because
you're like, I'm putting it together.
Yeah,
now.
no, it all makes sense because before we did the podcast, like you and I were talking, and we're talking about big goals and stuff, right? And you told me, you're like, I want to be the biggest guy in real estate, you know? And that ain't something that just like normal people say, you know, especially someone who's been only doing it for a couple of years. But that's something that I have said to my team too. I'm like, guys, I want to be the biggest real estate investor anyone has ever heard of. Like this, I just want to be the guy.
You want to be the name.
I want to be the guy. And I believe it with 100% conviction that it will happen. And I can see it when you say it, the same exact thing. You're like, I'm going to be the biggest guy. It's a foregone conclusion. And it's not that it's a cocky thing or like that. It's just when you're an athlete, you have to have confidence, like this supreme confidence that you're going to be the best. And if you're not, you're going to figure out how. That's it.
That's it. I mean, it's just the only way to get to a position like that is through a lot of hard work and doing the right things, right? You can figure all those things out. Like, I'm not saying I'm a genius, you know? I'm saying I will do whatever it takes, and I will position the brand, the people, the team in the right place, and we will get there without a doubt. I've never hesitated. I've been saying this the last 12 months. 12 months ago, we probably had like 80,000 subs.
Right.
Nothing has
You're going to
changed.
go from 80 to a million in 12 months.
Before you know, it will be million to 6 million. It's the same agenda. It's not going to change, and we'll get there without a doubt.
I 100% believe you. And I have the same faith with our team. You know, we're a little over 100 now. And my goal is like, yeah, in a year, we should have no reason we're not at a million.
Yeah, I mean, people are now seeing this, but there's 4 guys behind the camera. The moment I touch this home, I just see you guys getting content, doing stuff. You guys are putting in the work. It's a simple math, you know? So you guys put the work in, and you're educated in your space. You know what you're doing, and you put that to work. Good things come out of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Even at a small level, you start to see the fruits of your labor, and at a big level, it just becomes insane.
Yeah, totally.
But I also agree with you about the part about, you know, hard work and this being quote unquote easy. Because when I was playing baseball, you know, not only are you training every day, you got to eat the right way. You got to, you know, for us, ride all these crappy bus rides and stay in motels. And we literally played 140 games a year in like 150 days, you know, and imagine that in the worst hotels and buses and everything. And so I look now and I'm like, wait, we're like worried about, you know, people think filming this $60 million mansion is tough, you know, hanging out in the couch. Like, this is the easiest thing ever compared to that.
Literally, I'm saying no to people that have like $20, $30 million listings. I genuinely don't have a spot for them to even feature. And we go in, people are stoked to have us. This is easy. I mean, my windsurfing days were harsh. Carrying gear around the world, abusive sport. You're competing in 30, 40 knots of wind, and, you know, it's hard on your body. So to me...
And my guess is you weren't even making that much as a pro windsurfer.
For windsurfer, I was actually making really good because the business mentality in me, I was a great marketer. That's
You're
why
getting all these sponsors. And
that's why I get these questions all the time. How do you get access to these homes? How do you get these companies to sponsor you? It's simple. When I go talk to someone and ask for something from them, I have the common sense to think about what I'm asking, and in return, what I can give them is worth their time. I can make that conviction in my mind. And if it's not worth it, I won't even reach.
right.
So anytime, like, I'm pulling these really unique brand partnerships and people are like, how are you doing it? It's simple. When I ask for A, I want to make sure the B we give them is at least equal, if not more. And I always aim for more. When you do business with that perspective, your phone doesn't stop ringing. I've been offered to be partners over like 20 companies so far. We're not even that big. Like, I'm going to be honest. Our YouTube channel is not even that big. Like, there are guys with 5, 10 million subs. The point is it's how you propose your value and how you carry yourself. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, I always think that you need to lead with value. You know, I'm sure you get hit up all the time to do collabs and all this stuff, right? And so for me, anytime I want to collab with somebody, like, we're making an effort, like, hey, let's reach out to people. You know, you just got on with Ryan Serhant, right? Mm-hmm. And when I was reaching out to you, you know, I was like, hey, you know, if you're ever in Vegas, we can hook you up. We'll get you a house to tour, like, whatever. And then this opportunity came up here at the Wish House. And I'm like, I want to film this regardless, right? But then I reached out to you and I said, hey, I think this would be epic for your channel. And that's how we met up, you know?
There you go. Without a doubt. I mean, you understand how this thing works. And you come from a point of, like, I have to give value to the people that I want to work with. And it's not even like you have to do something for them. It's more so like you show that you understand that somebody's giving their time to you and you respect it, that goes long ways.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, you know, we're obviously talking a lot about, you know, social media, value, sports, all that stuff. One thing that really, you know, resonated with me was you were saying outside of this that when you first started, you know, you're doing these leases, right? Like you didn't really understand YouTube yet, so you're just grinding out these leases. Like, what was that like?
So this is a really interesting point. So think about it. The reason I'm at a place in life and the things that I've managed to accomplish, one of the big important key components in that is that I never had ego. When I was a professional windsurfer, I've hardly told it to anyone. I never felt the need of like, I have to brag about myself.
You just dropped that on me just now. I'm like, wait, what?
I never talk about it. I talk about it when people are like, what have you done before? I'm like, well, for 12 years, I was an athlete. You know, that's what I've done. So when I came to LA, I have a $100,000 car. I was well financially off. I was doing $2,000 a month leases, right? Exactly 2.5 years ago from now. And I was the happiest guy. I had no ego. I wasn't like, dude, I was flipping homes making 100 grand or plus per flip.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was like, you're in LA, nobody knows you. You've got no grounds.
Earn your stripes.
Earn it.
Yeah.
No ego about it. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I was literally doing $3,000 a month leases.
Yeah.
Some of the clients that I've represented in transactions, I found them $5,000 a month places. Then they bought, and they're business executives. They're producers. I mean, you should know the people that I met through leases because no one wanted to work with them.
Yeah.
And I've honestly gotten the idea from Graham. So when I moved out to LA, I was like, I'm just going to buy Graham's realtor course. And he was like, hey, I didn't know anyone. I would put lease listings in Craigslist. I would go do showings for other agents who hates their leases. And when the property wasn't right for them, I would be like, let me help you find.
Yeah.
I've never tried to focus on door knocking. I've done none of the conventional stuff. I hustled. In the 2 months of me being a real estate agent, I was the busiest guy in the office. I am not kidding you. I was working 6 a.m., 9 p.m., barely keeping up. That's 2 months into the business. And I was making pennies. But I was so well connected. Immediately, I have Rolodex of over 600 people in LA that either transacted with me or almost leased them a place. It would take people like 5-6 years to build a Rolodex. I built that in like 16 months.
Yeah.
So again, it's all about working hard, trying to bring value. Every single lease client, I didn't care how much money I was going to make. Dude, I was the best agent for them. I hustled my ass out. I mean, I put leases together that were like literally impossible. I stretched it left, right. And all those people, you should see some of the connections I gained from it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Goal was build the business, money will come.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, it comes down to, it wasn't about the money the lease made you. It was about just building up the relationships. You know, you do a deal with them, they tell their friends, gets referrals. Now it causes you to do a deal with that listing agent, and now you know them. And, man, relationships compound because it's just like, now that we've met, people that I know, I can introduce to you, same thing. So it's like you're always just one person away from meeting, you know, someone else who can really change your life.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I love that. Speaking of leases, you know, this house we're in right now is really big. It's a 38,000 square foot home in Bel Air, you know, with these amazing views. What do you think they're leasing this house for?
So I know when this hit the market initially, they were saying like, we will consider any kind of lease. You know how they say like seasonal, month to month. I would assume based on the square footage, I would have said somewhere around $200,000 to like $300,000-$400,000 a month.
That's
yeah,
dude.
Which is insane. I know that's crazy to think about, but in LA, it's actually pretty normal. Like this is the world we live in here.
Just, you know, I'll rent something for $200,000, whatever.
You know why? Because what people make out of their homes or what is the value for them is so different in LA. Like in this case, this is the home influencer home for Wish. They have a commercial interest attached to this, right? And to them, leveraging that on a marketing perspective, it's so much more valuable that they can overlook that $200,000-$300,000 a month.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the amount of attention they're going to get every month from this is way more valuable than what they pay in their lease. And so I'll tell you, the answer to what they're paying is around $250,000. But between all the parties and the staff and the maintenance, they're dropping over $500,000 a month.
That is insane.
Absolutely crazy.
That's insane. I mean,
but at the end of the day, a big company like Wish, which is public and worth billions of dollars,
it's a small marketing budget for them.
$500,000 a month is nothing for them.
Nothing.
So yeah, that is a really cool thing they're doing. And we actually sold them the house in Vegas that is the same exact thing as this. It's a influencer home. They throw parties there. They got Wish decked out everywhere, and they bought that home with my brokerage, Forever Home Realty, for $11 million. And
good for you, man. That's a big sale for Vegas.
It was the most expensive sale in Henderson.
Wow.
So, you see that sale, and we're like, dang, that was like a record sale. It was. And then we come here, and you're like, yeah, this one's probably like 70 million, could be more. $1
million is like a chump change around here. It's insane.
Absolutely crazy, dude. I want to dive into really how you made that switch from realtor, who's leasing these homes, to, YouTube star, and how you just built it so quick. But before we do that, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. Are you thinking about buying a home in Las Vegas? My brokerage, Forever Home Realty, can help. We're seeing a huge influx of people all over the country purchase here. Many are fleeing California and other high-tax states to move here where it's much more affordable and tax-friendly. Whether you're thinking about buying a primary residence or an investment property, Forever Home Realty can help. Go to ryanpineda.com/Vegas to get a free consultation from one of our agents. Once again, that's ryanpineda.com/Vegas. One of the hardest parts about real estate investing is finding a good contractor. That's where Southwestern Custom Construction comes in. They've been doing remodels in Nevada and Arizona since 2006. As a fully licensed and bonded general contractor, they're able to help with any type of renovation, all the way from an entry-level fixer-upper to a custom luxury home. Southwestern Custom Construction specializes in working with investors. I've personally used them on many of my projects, so I know their team is legit. If you want to get a bid on a project, head over to customhomenow.com. Once again, that's customhomenow.com. One of the best ways to get off-market real estate deals is through cold calling. And if you want to reach as many people as fast as possible, then you need Batch Dialer. With their predictive dialing technology and built-in CRM, Batch Dialer is one of the top dialers in the industry. You can switch between single or multi-line dialing, as well as do voicemail drops and call recordings. And for being a listener of The Ryan Pineda Show, you'll get a 7-day free trial. Just go to batchdialer.com/Ryan. Once again, that's batchdialer.com/Ryan. Now, back to the show. All right, so you're grinding it out, building your realtor business. You're doing a great job, building the Rolodex like we talked about. But then the light bulb kind of goes off for you. You're like, what's going on? Why is nobody marketing these things the right way? Like, tell me what happened.
So when you move to LA, you're excited for all these new things, right? You see Rolls Royces everywhere. My office was literally steps away from Rodeo Drive. First, you're really excited, but then eventually something about LA, everything becomes normal. Seeing celebrities becomes like eating lunch. Like it happens all the time, right? First, you tour these $20, $30 million homes. 2 weeks in, you're like, I don't want to spend an hour going brokers open. I don't want to see a $50 million home. And obviously, I've kind of felt that, but at the same time, I was like, this life is ridiculous. I mean, this is crazy. These are some of the most expensive assets in the world, and it is around me, and it's the easiest thing to access. So, and I'm genuinely passionate about them. Like, brokers opens are between, I hope I remember the time frame right, I think between 11 and 2 p.m., so it's about 3 hours. I would literally speed across the city to go as many homes as possible because you don't have to set up an appointment. You can just go tour any of these homes. Just because I was so interested in construction and homes that I was like, I want to see them all. I want to see them all. And then eventually, a couple of weeks in, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, these are incredible homes. And no one knows kind of how to talk about them either. Like, I would watch some realtor videos or like I would see showings and I'm like, you just walk by an incredible living room. Don't you see the marble and book match and the bathrooms? And, it's pretty easy to read the fact that a lot of agents are good salesmen. They're not good builders, or they don't understand the architecture as much as, in my opinion, they should. So I was like, how do I capitalize on that? It's like, let's start a vlog. Ryan Serhan is doing vlogs. It inspires you. I called my friend Mikey. I was like, Mikey, you want to try this thing? He's like, well, yeah, sure. He's like, he literally came over. I had a 1-bedroom apartment. Mikey was sleeping on my couch for a couple of months to start this channel.
You guys just roughing it.
Roughing it, dude. It was just like, look, we have no idea. This could be the biggest money pit. It may not work out. I'm still going to work as a real estate agent, but I'll dedicate certain of my time to you. Vice versa, you do your thing. And on the side, let's run this YouTube channel. He's like, cool, I'm in. It started off that way. But you know how it is when you're a driven person. When you start looking at something, you start looking at deeper and deeper. You start seeing the inefficiencies and you start seeing the opportunities. And that's what happened with me. I was like, we can make these videos a little bit better. Let's get a Sony camera.
let's quit using our cell phones.
Let's stop using GoPros, right? I'm like, how about we tour $3 million homes instead of $1 million homes? How about instead of doing it at brokers opens, let's book a house for 4 hours and let's give a ton of value to the agents. No money. We will cut up Instagram footage for them. Nothing. We want nothing. We just want the access. Right now, every week I say so many no's. It's crazy. People are offering me incredible properties, willing to pay, willing to cover our travel costs. And I'm like, I don't have a spot for you. We're so booked. That's what happened. I just saw the opportunity and I put 110% in it. And then from there, about 16 months in, I was like, 12 months in, I was like, I'm going to quit being a real estate agent at some point. 3-4 months after that, I was like, this is going to happen way sooner than I anticipated. And 14, 15 months in, I actually quit being a real estate agent, but I didn't announce it. And about 4 months ago, I make an official announcement. And I haven't transacted in like the last 8 months, besides referrals.
Right.
And talking about leases, all those leases are calling me now. We want to buy.
Enes, you're like, famous now. Yeah, we knew you when you were nobody.
Literally, I have producer clients. They're like, we used to be the celebrities. Is it you or us now? Like, this is crazy. He's like, you're on our YouTube page all the time. This is ridiculous. So all those clients are now referrals, unfortunately. And fortunately, I know a couple agents that are really good friends of mine, kind of has the same work ethic that I'd have. And I just kind of match my clients with them and they're working together.
That's awesome, man. So you're still able to capitalize on the leads that your channel is generating and all that. So where did you learn to produce these things at such a high level? You know, because that's something that I'm really working on is like, hey, we have this real estate or finance space where we do a lot of talking head videos, you know, and I'm always thinking, how can I make these more entertaining, right? Because somebody wants to listen to me talk for 10 minutes. It's what can you do, right? Touring $60 million houses is one thing, but what would you say made you able to break the mold? Because people were still walking houses. What did you do different?
So that's a really good question, man. There's so much I can talk about that. One of the things that I felt like was missing in the world of home tours was a lot of them was high-pitched music, fast cuts, montages.
Girl in the bikini walking around.
Girl in the bikini, Lamborghinis pulling up.
That one cracks me up every time I see that.
Oh, my God. I was like, why doesn't anyone just, I want to see it. Dude, I want to see it. Show me the living room and tell me why this is worth $50 million. Because I would look at the comments of these videos and people would just trash the properties, right? And there's some argument that these are high price point homes. But at the end of the day, dude, it takes about 6 to 7 years to put a home like this in Bel Air. There's so much trouble these developers go through to make these things happen. So I was like, how do I explain these homes and keep the attention? So we changed the music a little bit. We made our videos all about the homes. A lot of these tours, you look at them, it's all about agent using fancy words. It's no fancy words. I'm a guy just like you and I.
Just a normal guy just touring homes.
Normal guy that knows his stuff, that can actually talk about it and make sense. A lot of the guys that I saw, they were just good on camera. They knew how to edit. And they were just kind of reading a little bit of information here and there. I was like, I'm going to care about these developers. And just little pieces like this made a difference. And we kind of carved our direction where now a lot of people are copying our format. I mean, every single week I see some other YouTube suggestion, or home tours in Chicago. And I look, they start the same way. They have a montage, music cuts in. A lot of them actually use a lot of the songs. We have 6 different music subscriptions because we run out of music all the time, which it's honoring to see that this is becoming a thing. So yeah, just being ourselves, man, doing right by the audience and not acting like we are a big deal. I really don't think we are a big deal. I don't see it that way at all. And I like that about us. And I keep it that way.
No, and I would totally agree. You know, meeting you in person is just like, you're like, what's up, man? Like, you know, just hanging out and we're just having a good time chilling. And yeah, I totally agree. The way that you do these tours is so different, right? Because you're not like over dramatizing them or making them something they're not. You're just walking through them, pointing out things that are beautiful, pointing out things that, you know, you might change, you know, just being very fair and neutral about the homes. And, you know, I see all these other tours where there's something lacking. Maybe they're making it about the personality more so than the home, right? That's one thing you've always said. You're like, it's about the home. It's not about me. And you do everything possible for that. Another one I see is just low quality, right? Like, at the end of the day, I tell our agents at Forever Home all the time, you can most certainly tour a home, low quality, you'll generate leads. But, you know, you want to be the best, which is a world champion mindset, right? You have to hit every piece of it right. Quality, content, storyline.
My bad.
You good?
My bad, guys.
You good?
You have to hit all the point.
You've got to hit it in every aspect, whether it be the quality of content, the storyline, just the flow of the video. And I mean, I even see you now. You guys are improving today. Like, your videos 3 months ago compared to today are drastically different. You added doing the sunset. I noticed those things.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this guy is filming from start to finish of the day. Like, these are long shoots. So
12 hour, 13 hours, sometimes 14-hour shoots. So one of the things that a lot of people overlooked, and I know we made a big impact on the world of YouTube and home tours, is back when people were watching this 2-3 years ago, Architectural Digest, some other YouTubers got quite a bit of success. What they have missed, that they were the only options available. Right? So like, they were the only videos you could have actually watched. So people want to see these homes. What happened, I realized, is as we were building the channel, we were strictly focused on how can we make it better? How can the experience can be better? How can we shoot better? And I mean, we did this. We have this attitude nonstop in a very aggressive fashion almost. What I realized is as we were growing and getting more views and getting more acknowledgement, all the other channels were getting less views, because people were like, oh, there's this way of seeing homes. And everything hits so right. Your B-roll is so beautiful. Your music is so well matched at home. Then you watch something else, which could be a very good content. You're like, no, I like that more. And you click out a little bit earlier, right? Your interest fades away a little bit more. And I think we caused a lot of these channels and Architectural Digest to get actually less views, because I truly believe we're setting the standards of these home tours. And we're not even close to being done. I mean,
you guys are just getting started.
We're just getting started, and we're going to push this where I would like to think we're producing probably one of the best home tour videos in the world, whether it's TV networks or YouTube, you name it.
Netflix, something.
Netflix, I mean, feel free to compare them. Compare us to $1 Million Listing Los Angeles. See their B-roll and see our B-roll and how well our videos are produced. And it's not like well produced in the sense of like scripted. Everything is perfect. No, it's like, it does true justice to the home.
Right.
And we're not going to stop. We have so many more unique things coming up. I want to just elevate the game. That's all.
Yeah, it's always about getting better every day. And yeah, I'll tell you, with what you're doing, just as a, from my perspective, you know, my wife, Mindy, she loves watching AD and your channel and everything. But, you know, before we started watching your channel, you know, she was always watching AD. Like you said, they were the only player in the game. And then you see them kind of have this first mover advantage, and they're showing random homes that are cool, and then they'll show celebrity homes and stuff, right? Which could be cool, might not, but it's really about the celeb.
Yeah.
And I've seen with you, you are going after just bigger and better homes every time. You know, you started out doing these 4 million homes, like you said, 5, 10. Now you're like, yeah, you know, 20 million. It's not that it's a bad home. It's just our level at this point is like, hey, we have to maintain that. And you're in the right spot where you've got plenty of opportunity to do that. It's not like the options are endless.
Absolutely.
And so I enjoy watching yours because you're showing this home that no one else is. AD is not showing those homes. Who else is? Where can I watch that type of home? It doesn't exist. So that's why I say, back to my original question of, like, where are they missing? Where's the niche? And you hit a couple on the head, but I think that's also a big one. You're literally showing something that no one else shows.
Simple common sense, right? A lot of people reach out to me. They're like, I want to start a YouTube channel. Great. You should 100% do it. You should look at it, the content that you want to create, and you should be like, how many people can copy this? Straight up, I'm just being honest to everybody here, because if this kills me. I'm gonna say it. I think I'm gonna probably get some heat on this, but
hey, I love it.
Yeah, like let's
give me
bring
the
on
controversy. That sells.
These Instagram videos I see now, like fast forward videos of like someone comes in, opens the door, and walks in front of the phone, and they fast forward like a home tour.
I've seen
right?
those. Yeah,
and a couple of these goes viral. It's great. You know how many people can produce that content? Have you ever thought about how easy what you have just done? You're just writing a little
trend
and like the little loophole in the system, and soon it will be exploited and you will be back to zero. Now you need to find the next cheat code to get some followers. And here's the problem. You're doing something that's going to get old. To me, I looked at it as, how do I differentiate this content where it truly becomes where like nobody can copy it? Now, I'll ask you a question. How many guys do you know that can tour 50, 60, $100 million homes on a weekly basis, produce it at a levels that is just like sickening, where it's like almost impossible in a week period, and talk about these homes at an expert level without being annoying or coming off show-offy?
Well, you know, the answer was no one, but I met you today.
There you go. Good luck copying it.
Yeah.
It's a free world, and I encourage you that you copy. Hopefully you do a good job, that we learn something from you, and maybe we can improve.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty challenging task. It turns off a lot of people. And I'm not saying I'm going somewhere that no one wants to go. We're going there because we want to make this better. Like you said it really well. 3 months ago, our videos were good. We found ways to make them better. Still to this day, I mean, you know, I would color correct the scene. I'll be like, guys, let's correct this. They're like, dude, you can barely tell. I'm like, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Can it be better? Or if you make that change, does the video look a little bit better? He's like, yeah. What else we are discussing? Make it better.
Yeah, attention to detail.
Attention to detail.
We know that in sports, like one little change is whether you're first or second, right? It could be why your video went viral, or you know, theirs didn't.
Dude, when I was a professional windsurfer, so I raced in the slalom division. Slalom means like you basically have buoys, you're racing with 8 other people, and you have your board and your sail, and there's literally 500 things that can be tuned on that gear to make sure when you're going against the wind and you're holding the gear together, everything works together. When you're going 40 miles an hour, if you have a perfect gear and you're trained well, everything feels like you're going 10 miles an hour because you have such an amazing control of everything you're doing. You're going 40 miles an hour, but it's so slow. It's like there's a classical music playing on the background.
Right.
It's like this with these tours. When you pay attention to every little, like when we do these tours, when I hit my lines, I'm literally seeing the finished product as I talk about it. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm going to talk about the next. When we look at the Wall Street Journal did a video on us.
Yeah.
And we shot one intro like 4 times. The guy was like, dude, this intro is like good. Why you guys are shooting it again? It could be a tiny bit better. Why not? We're here. We made the hard thing happen. We got access to this home. All the crew is here. Everybody's ready to work. Let's make it better. So when you have that kind of attention to detail, before you know, product sets itself apart.
No, I totally agree. And I've had the opportunity to hang around with some really good, you know, athletes, the best of the best guys who are all-stars, MVP type players. I've had, you know, the opportunity to hang out with some of the best YouTubers and, you know, even to study and listen to how they speak. And you just see this common theme, you know, whether it was Kobe Bryant talking about he wanted that one little advantage, and that was going to be the difference. And you think about, Mr. Beast, right? I mean, that guy is
he's incredible.
He's the creme de la creme of YouTube. And the way you hear him speak about a video is like, every second of that video, he analyzes it before it ever goes out. And he's like, hey, could we have improved that second? Dude, I've heard him tell stories of him having to go fly somewhere back there, reshoot a scene, come back just for like a 5-second clip of the scene. You know, how many people are willing to do that? And it's got him to where he's at today. And you talk about this thing that can't be copied, which you're right. I absolutely agree. Like, just getting access to the $60 million homes is already like, who can do it? But then the fact that you also bring everything you talked about to the table as well makes it almost nobody can really do it. Mr. Beast is doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, good luck copying his videos.
Yeah. You going to give away $1 million every video? Good luck.
Put all those business plans together, have a production team to produce it, get all those things right. Good luck. I mean, I would never want to take that challenge on. It would kill me.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to do it either. And so I'm with you, and it's something I have thought about for my own channel is like, hey, okay, if I'm in this space with all of the other finance guys or house flippers, which house flipping is a very small niche within YouTube, but the general niche of money or real estate, like, what can I do to stand out in a way that can't be copied? Like you said, I mean, that's the best way to put it. It's like, you have to go to Ryan if you want that information or that type of quality of content. So it's something I'm still figuring out, but you've pushed me to really think about it even more.
I mean, I'm happy to hear that. To me, it's the no-brainer part of it because, again, you want to be different. Like, a lot of people reach out to me, I want to tour homes. Great. They're like, well, we want to get access to $5 million home. Why don't you tour a one-bedroom condo? Oh, well, it's not that fancy. Right away, you're trying to write the material, not yourself. Dude, I will tour a one-bedroom condo, and I'll get 50,000 views. It's about how you do it. It's about carrying that passion and giving value within what you're doing. That's why we kind of started a B channel to test out a bunch of different concepts. Our construction walkthroughs. Nobody wants to see a home on a construction site. We have a channel with 80, 90,000 subs. They got 200,000 views in less than 3 weeks. Yes, they do. It's about how you present it and how you make it interesting. But at the end of the day, more than a lot of people focus on different things, to me, what makes it unique? I mean, Casey Neistat, some of the easiest videos to make. There's no materials involved for the most part, but the way this guy edits, the way he shots, the way he tells the stories, good luck replicating it. He's amazing. He can make him eating a lunch and riding a bike in New York the most exciting thing. You're like, I want to see what's next. It's crazy. I sometimes sit down, so I'm hour in, one Casey video to another. I'm like, dude, did I just watch this guy ride a bike, do a kayak somewhere, and just like talk about personal development? And before you know, an hour is gone. He has his own way. So to me, if you're gonna get into the space, give value and figure out your way.
Yeah, something that fits your personality, your skill set. I mean, we're all unique in some type of way. It's like, how do I just convey that to the world, Yeah. So I love that, dude. So, you were telling me off camera that, and you kind of mentioned it back to your windsurfing days, but you've always been good at getting sponsors and stuff. And we had our first call of trying to figure out, when we're going to meet up and stuff. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about things. You're like, yeah, Rolls-Royce is a sponsor. Like, all casually. I was like, wait, what? Hold on. Like, let's take a step back. What do you mean by that? And you're like, yeah, Rolls-Royce, they give me a car and all that. And I'm like, how does Rolls-Royce give you a car? Like, explain that.
So, really simple. Again, when I reach out for an opportunity, I learned this a lot in the windsurfing world. When I was looking for a sponsor, where you actually put a sticker on your sail, you represent this company. When you get a PR, you always mention them. I learned, I would pitch to so many companies. They're like, okay, you're great. You have a couple of world titles, but how does us giving you money or resources is going to help us? So it's a simple math. When you ask a hand from someone, what can you do for them? So I look at the Rolls-Royce video. For example, partnering with Rolls-Royce, I'm like, we tour some of the most expensive properties in the world, and we do it in a very classy way that majority of the people really like us. Read the comments down below. It's easy. We can get their cars and their dealership name in front of millions of people in a very elegant way and position it in a video that fits the content, fits their product. I mean, what better way to feature a Rolls Royce than putting it in front of a $50 million home? Straight up. Goes back to differentiation. Can they access to these homes as easy as we do and produce a content with their cars as quick as we can? Every single time we got a car, we spun off an edit for them. We send it, edited beautifully, elegantly. We edited a Rolls Royce video that we haven't released. We gave it to them. I sent it to a friend of mine who runs a big PR agency in LA. And I was like, if someone hired you and said, we own Rolls Royce and we want you to edit a commercial like this, how much would you charge them? I get an email back like 10 minutes later. He's like, $50,000 to $75,000. We gave that video for free. They didn't ask for it. They were happy to just have the car in the video. Guess what happened next time? They called me. They're like, do you need anything else? Do you need more cars? They called me the other day. They're like, hey, you know, we got this McLaren that is $2.2 million. And they told us to let our favorite clients to drive. They're like, you're not our client, but we really like you. You want to drive this thing? I was like, I'm going to call you right back. I sit down in my office for 30 minutes. I was like, I'm going to make a video on this. I called them back. I was like, you guys are cool if I make a YouTube video on this? They're like, yeah, you got an hour. Called my guys, hour and a half. We shot this thing. We put a McLaren Elva video. It's $2.2 million. There's only 149 of them in the world. We spun off a B channel video, and I think we did a pretty good job. They're like, we need to give you more cars. I was like, it's welcome. But again, it's how you carry yourself. Like, they call me, they're like, take any cars you want. I've gone maybe 3-4 cars. I don't want to abuse relationships. Like, if I cannot give them good value, I'm not taking those cars to flex. I'm not taking those cars to just put an Instagram photo. That train ride has taken off already. I'm all about our work being so good that it represents itself. I never need to brag about anything we do. Dude, read the comments. Are we getting views or not? Let the work speak for itself.
Right.
That's the best compliment anybody can give on our videos, on what we do. And that's why I don't mention being a windsurfer, a professional windsurfer, unless someone asks me, what do I do? Just go brag? I don't need to. Like, hey, we work hard. If you like our content, that's great. If you don't, I respect that too. That's it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
No, I love that, dude. So I'm gonna have to figure out in my own way how I can add value to Rolls Royce. I'm gonna, you know, a lot of my content is these beat up, you know, flips. Just, I don't think they're gonna want that, but maybe, you know, Chevy or something will sponsor me.
Yeah, I mean, you'll figure out a way. We're going to Miami right now. We're working with an RV company to give us an RV.
There you go.
So we can drive to Miami rather than taking a plane.
Yeah. Are you guys working with hotels yet about like nice resorts and stuff?
I'll just say the next few phases that we're gonna go through are gonna be first of its kind on YouTube in real estate game.
Yeah.
We're not like we're maybe at 5% of what we want to aim for. We're gonna pull off really big international things. I'll just leave it at that.
You can't leave it at that, dude. You got to like, okay, you know, you're only at 5%. Give me like another 5%. I don't need the 100.
I mean,
like, what's an idea that's?
I briefly told you this off camera, but I want every single one of these episodes to be a big deal.
Right.
Like, I want every single one of these to be a Mr. Beast, Mark Rober video, where it's like, I don't care where they're touring, I don't care where they are, I have to watch it. I want people to book it on their calendars.
Right.
Where they're like, we can't miss it. We have to watch it. You know, I told you, Mark Rober comes up with video ideas. I never know what he's even going to talk about. I'm like,
but I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it. If this guy did a video, I know his name, I know what he delivers, it's got to be good. Every single time he delivers. That's why I keep going back to his channel. Same thing, Mr. Beast. I'm like, God knows what he has cooking right now. You know, I got to see it.
Right.
I watch it just out of curiosity alone. But again, becoming one of the biggest real estate personalities in the world, if not the biggest. And I want to show the world part of, like, I want to, there are $200-300 million homes in Hong Kong. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
It's insane. There are.
But I can already know you're working on them.
There are $50-60 million palaces in Middle East.
Nobody's
no photos
touring.
of it. I'll get access to those.
Are you
things.
what would be your first step to getting access to something like that? What would you do?
Well, keep in mind, I have an international background.
Well, yeah, and you have influence now.
I have influence now. And it's all about reverse engineering it, make sure we give value to whoever we're reaching out. And, you know, at a levels that I would like to think I function, or the goals that I have, you have to have a little bit of crazy, like a little bit of like, that sounds ridiculously difficult to pull off. And based on the resources you have, that shouldn't be possible. I believe I have that 1% of like, I'm still going to
do it, whatever.
When you look at something every single day, constantly, as if it's a concrete wall, eventually you break the wall. That's what we're going to do. Like, we're looking at a huge wall in front of us. I have no doubt we're just going to break through it.
Yeah.
And we're going to do stuff that no one has ever done on this channel. We're going to do properties that they're going to be like, I didn't even know they exist in the world.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
I want to see you do it because I want to watch them.
I know you'll watch them.
I want to watch them. I'll be like, I mean, I already, at your current level, I'm like, oh yeah, and it's like, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
I can definitively say you are the only one who I watch almost every video.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah. What would you say is, I mean, I know your strategy is more so quality over quantity. Whereas I've taken the approach, I know other YouTubers as well, go quantity over quality. Like, you look at, I see success both ways. I see guys like PewDiePie who go every single day. Guys like Meet Kevin who go 3 times a day.
Oh my God. God bless his soul, man. That guy is incredible.
I know.
I mean, I'm so impressed. I watched his content as much as I could. He is incredible.
Yeah, crazy. So what's your thoughts on that as far as like if somebody's going to become a YouTuber? Like, would you say focus and be like Mr. Beast, Mark Rober, you, or try and go volume and, less production quality, just put out content? What do you think?
Pick one direction and commit to it. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So there's pluses and minuses to both sides, but both techniques do work, right? The direction you're going where you're on every single platform, you're getting probably more exposure than I do versus I'm playing the quality game where each one of the platforms that I am on always favors me because they're like, well, we want people to stay on the platform. And these guys keep their retention high. We have stupid retentions on our videos because people click on the videos. They're like, wait, this is on YouTube? This looks like a TV show in a good way.
Yeah.
So I would say pick your direction and commit to it. Probably at the beginning, the more exposure, the better. The more platforms you can be on because you never know what's going to catch.
Yeah.
And don't take it personal. If TikTok works a little bit better, focus on that a little bit. You can always come back to YouTube.
Yeah.
As long as you have the work ethic and as long as you're willing to learn, improve, put your ego aside and do what's right for the audience, you can be successful in anything.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I'll tell you this, being on all platforms, and people always ask me about social media, it's like, man, putting out content is not easy, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Making TikToks, making Instagrams, doing stories. I mean, you were telling me earlier, like, now you're starting to post more on stories and you're like not even still wanting to do it.
Yeah.
And so content is tough, but YouTube content is definitely the hardest. The amount of effort it takes to script out a video, to edit the video, and, now you got to think about the thumbnail and the title, and just there's so much that goes into it.
I was a professional athlete in arguably one of the most abusive sports in the world. Windsurfing is really hard on body. You're racing on a surface that is constantly changing. There's wind, there's temperatures involved. I swear to God, it's one of the most difficult sports in the world. And now I work on desks. I work on structuring videos and shooting stuff. I mean, we work at levels that will make people sick. Like, people will be like, I need to take a month off. And I can handle that abuse from my windsurfing background, but I'll tell you this story. We work with these 2 guys. Their name is Matt and Andy. They're our brand strategists. They're kind of our secondary brains. And I met them about a year ago on a coincidence, and we ended up working together, and they're a big part of our operation. And when they initially met me, they said, Enes, in order for us to help you, we need to understand what the hell you guys are doing. This looks kind of simple, but talking to you 2 times, I already know there's a million things you're putting in the works. So we did the first 3 weeks of like talking and explaining the science behind what we do and why it works. After 3 weeks, this was their conclusion. They're like, there's no chance in hell anybody is going to work this hard, put something this complex in a weekly basis and produce and deliver. You guys are unreplicable. It's like, you guys have no competition. If you guys keep it at this level, build it and scale it, you guys are going to become arguably one of the most dangerous sources of media platform.
Yeah.
It's like, and the core science behind it is the resilience.
Yeah.
And maintaining this quality. So
do you think that, I mean, I can already tell you're not going to get burnt out, but do you think your team might get burnt out at some point?
they probably will. That's why I scale as always, because I cannot expect everybody. Like, I'm at a point, Mikey will be like, take time off, take a couple hours off. I can't. I don't know how to. It's not even like I can't afford.
You just don't want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I wake up at 5:30 a.m. on Sunday, work all Sunday out of a desk where I live in LA. I have a $14,000 electric jet surfboard in my house. I have windsurfing gear, surfing gear. Malibu's 30 minutes away from my place. And I'm totally happy to just sit down all Sunday, emails, relationships, what we're shooting next, how can we strategize, how can we launch this. It's in my blood. I don't know how to let it go. When I start something, I have to rise to the top. That's just how it is.
I'm with you, dude. Well, man, I want to respect your time, and this has been a really fun interview, man. And I'm super psyched to see, when you tour that $300 million Hong Kong home, and just all the cool stuff that you're going to be doing. Because I look forward to your videos now, and just knowing that, how far you've come in 3 months and where it's going to be, by the end of the year. It's going to be intense, though. So, dude, we appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Dude, thank you for having me. Thank you for getting us in here. And I know we're going to do a lot of stuff together. There's going to be a Vegas part of this channel. And I'm really excited for the future. And again, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, man. So, guys, if you're not following Enes already, we're going to link to his stuff down in the description. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. It's absolutely epic. And make sure you subscribe to this channel as well so that you get updated every time we release a new video. And with that being said, thanks for listening. Peace. Thanks for watching The Ryan Pineda Show. If you want to work with me, head over to ryanpineda.com. You can find my courses, coaching programs, and upcoming events. We also have free resources you can download, so head over to ryanpineda.com.